What's missing?
Yes, I have a small head now. I am missing my beard, or the extension of my chin.
But he looks 10 years younger.
But I look younger.
So today we will be finishing up on the Honda Civic. We have wheels for it, and we'll be installing some coilovers.
So we're going to take you through a little DIY or how to or do-it-yourself coilover install. I think 2006 to like 2011 on the Honda Civics, it's all the same. So we're going to walk you through that real quick. But Amanda's going to show you which coilover she got.
Here are 10 coilovers. We have these running on Ruby, and they worked well, so why not run it on the Honda?
So let's get to it. We're gonna lift the Honda real quick, take the wheels off, and then we'll get started. So we have all the wheels off, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start on the front of the car and work our way back, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what she's gonna do first, see if it'll brighten up in here, is you have a couple things to take off. The brake line here, because it's attached to the bottom of the stock strut. You also have the sensor to detach there. You have these two bolts right here that are 14 millimeter, and then we'll go up top and work on the top part. As far as that sensor goes, you just want to take some needle nose pliers and just pinch it and pull it through. Just like that.
So much pressure.
There you go, there's one. And once you have both of those nuts off, you can just pull these bolts out. The top one's gonna be carrying the weight, so it's a little bit harder. Grab the bottom one, you can pull that one, typically slide that one right out. And then this one, you might have to lift up a little bit on the rotor itself to let off the tension. Okay, so as you can see, it kind of came down a little bit. You can just kind of pull it and it'll fall forward. And then just watch your brake lines, make sure it's not stretching or holding on to those. Now that we have that bottom part undone, we'll go up top and undo it up there. All right, so now that you are up top, on the Honda Civics, they kind of tuck it in an annoying spot. You have to remove all this right here, which is actually fairly easy. And Amanda will show you that first little bit right here. You can just kind of yank it out. It's just a rubber piece. There you go. And then the next piece is this. You just have to pull it out, and it kind of pops out and reveals the top of the strut. Perfect. Just like that. And you can lift that seal, kind of peel it away. So now that reveals the top part of the strut. If you can see in there, still kind of a pain in the butt to get to, but somehow get 14 millimeter sockets on those, and once you get those undone, it'll just drop right through and we'll get the new one on. If you noticed, the rear has a strut on its own and a spring on its own, and then the adjustment that goes on there. On the back of the car, if you look at it, it has the strut on its own and the spring is right here. So the lowering adjustment's gonna go up here and the spring will be on its own, and then that strut will be there. And then on the front, if you notice, let's see if I can open it a little bit. It does not have a top hat, so you're actually gonna utilize the stock top hat to put it on the front. So we're gonna take it off the stock struts, and reuse them to mount them on the front. Let's get a 14 millimeter and try to fit our hands in that little hole. And there you go. Amanda has successfully taken off her first strut. So now that we have the stock strut off, we're gonna take that top hat off, which is just that nut on top there, which is a 17 millimeter, but first, just for safety, Amanda's gonna do something extra. What are we doing?
We're going to release some of the tension in the springs, so when we remove this nut, it doesn't fly off and cut off my head.
I think he's having fun. There you go. And now on the stock ones, the spring is actually wrapped inside this rubber part, so you kind of have to just twist it off, and it'll come off of that spring. There, yeah. And feed it out of that spring and pop it right off. Ta-da! So now we'll take that and put it on the new coilover and put it back on the car. So now that she got the top hat off of the stock ones, right there, we're gonna put it on the new coilovers. So just slide it on there, kind of feed that up through.
Just like that.
And then start screwing on the new nut on top. It's easier having two people, one person to kind of feed it up through and hold it there, while the other person puts the nuts on top there. So we're gonna do that real quick. So now that we mounted it up top, we have to connect everything down below. So this is gonna be a lot higher than the stock one was, since it's their lowering coilovers. So get some help if you need it to help lift this up into place, and then have the other person feed that bolt in once you have it up there. So I'm gonna lift with one hand as she feeds in the bolts once it's aligned.
Teamwork.
And now get the other one in. Somehow. There we go. Put the nuts on. You want to put your brake line back in so that bolt here, your sensor will clip right in, just like the stock position. And then the fun start begins. Wait. And then the fun. And then the fun begins. The backside, to access the top, you're gonna have to go into the trunk, and there's these three little clips there, there, and there. You just have to undo those and peel this back. Now if you look in there, there's the top. So you just have to undo that. And find the bottom part right here. Undo that. And then you got the strut out.
And we're good.
Right there, so get that with just this one side. And now we have the bottom of the strut undone. So now we just have to undo the top, and we'll pull that one out. As you can see in here, the top here has the little slot for an Allen wrench. You want to put it in there, because if you try to undo this 14mm nut, it'll just spin this and it won't go anywhere. So put the Allen wrench in there, and I have it kind of propped against the wall here, so it won't move, so I can just go to town on the nut and not have to worry about the Allen wrench. Okay, and now, theoretically, we should be able to pull it down through. And there you go.
Lucky took so long, the dogs are asleep.
So what we've done on the coil spring is we put that compressor on there to pull it, in tighter, so we can get it off the top and bottom here. It's probably not the best way to do it, but I'd rather do that than, you know, disconnect everything down below and drop the suspension. Now I'll put a piece of wood here. And as you see, as I push it down, you can kind of see that moving out. So we'll just push that down and peel that spring out and then put the new one in. Just like that. So as you can see, it's just kind of sitting up top and resting on the bottom with these little rubber dowels. And that's it. Now we just need to put the new one in, the new strut in, and you're good to go. So the rear, as far as the coils go, it comes with this in the kit. So this is going to be your adjustability as far as your height goes. And that's going to sit up on top of the spring. And then it comes with this little grommet that you're going to put on. And that way it doesn't bang and move around on top, up underneath the car. It doesn't slide around, it makes it so it's tight. So we'll get this in. Once again, pry down the suspension with the piece of wood. And then just slide the spring in place. Now we just have to raise it up to attach the new strut, and that should keep it nice and tight so it doesn't come undone.
So he just fed it up, first try. Yeah, it did. I didn't have time to explain to you guys. Jeez.
There's the nut. There you go. And now we'll probably leave it loose just to get the bottom attached, and then we'll tighten everything down. So we're gonna have to lift that suspension up to the bottom of that strut. So that's where this jack comes in. Perfect. Now that we have this lower bolt in, we'll just tighten it up, tighten up the top, and throw the wheels on.
All right, guys, so we finished. Wheels are in, coilovers are adjusted. So let's take a look at the final results.
Ooh, that bronze looks good. So we didn't like completely slam it, because it's still a daily driver. She still drives it every day.
And we live in Utah.
So we didn't want it to be not functional, not drivable. But all in all, damn, look at that Honda. Get it from the front with those new headlights. More to come for sure. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's DIY or do it yourself. So if you have any Hondas, you wanna put some coilovers on, new wheels, make it look perfect, that's how you do it.
Thanks for watching.